This Add Health to Our Years presentation is brought to you by Greensboro Television Network and the Parks and Recreation Department. These classes are designed for adults 55 and older. Before you begin this or any other fitness program, be sure to consult your physician.
My name is Chipper, and we are going to lead you in some chair yoga. To start off, you do need a yoga mat, and it helps to have a couple of pieces of equipment, such as the strap, and it can be any different number of lengths. Also, there is the yoga block, and so these are aids that help us in our different positions, which in yoga are called asanas. To begin yoga, we start off with our hands together at our heart, and we bow our heads and close our eyes, and we concentrate on our breathing. Try to breathe in slowly and easily, pulling in the breath through the nostrils as you push out the stomach, and then let the air out, pulling in towards the belly button. And do that a couple of more times. Opening the eyes and raising the gaze, we're going to begin some dynamic stretches to warm up the muscles and joints. So reach forward, pull in the air, breathe in, and let it out. Again. Bringing the arms down, bring them up about halfway and down, nice and easy. Now take them up above the head, touch, and bring them all the way down. Let's do that again, and when we come up, we bring the palms together, bring them down in front, carry them back up, and then release the hands to the back of the neck with your elbows up. Now twisting to the side, we just twist at the waist and then come back to the front and go to the other side. And we gently move side to side as we open up the core. Coming back to the front, we tilt over to the side and come back up, tilt the other way, and do it again. Again, working on the core. When we come back up, we release the hands from the back of the neck, bring them down, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Nice and easy. And then go the other direction. Couple of rolls that way, and now let the arms rest as you work on the neck. Turn the head to the side wall, look at it. In this case, I don't have a wall, I have to look at a tree. Come back to the front, turn to the other tree. And then keep going, turning the head side to side as you get the neck to loosen up. Okay, back to the front. Take the chin down towards the chest and then come back up and down. Just working the back of the neck, cervical spine, until you're back up. And now the ear goes over to the shoulder. Come back up, go over to the other shoulder. And carefully, since this part of the neck is very sensitive, just move it back and forth. And finally, we come back to the upright position. With your legs about shoulder width apart, lean forward at the hip, and then go in a circle. You're just moving around and around. Couple of 3 times, and then go the other direction. As slow or as fast as you want to go. And when you come back up to the seated position, lift that knee up and down so that the hip joint can get to move. Take that one down, lift the other one. Setting that one down, take the leg out as you work the knee. Remember not to hold your breath, breathing at all times. Let's do the other knee. Setting that one down, come up on your toes, heels are in the air, and then take the heels up and down. Pulling the heels out and resting them on your mat, toes are high, and now take the toes up and down. We're opening up the ankles and feet. Leaving the toes high, circle the ankles in unison, and then go the other way. All right, we've worked most of the muscles and the joints of the body, so we should feel sort of limber. Let's take in another nice deep breath of oxygen. And for our first asana, which is the word used to describe the positions in yoga, we're going to pick up the yoga strap. And taking our right leg out in front of us, we put the strap just above the heel. Important part of this position is that your arms are not bent in this initial lift of the leg. So if your arms are like this, then you need to stretch them out. And you just rest the leg about parallel with the other leg. If you want more intensity, pull the toes back towards you and push out with the heel. If you want to increase the intensity in this position, slightly lift the leg higher. And breathe. One more breath. And on the next breath, we take the strap. And if you don't have a strap, a bathrobe belt will work just as well. Take it into the right hand and then windmill the leg over to the side, and the left arm outstretches and you look towards the left, holding the position. These positions are also great for closing your eyes and concentrating on the breath. One more breath. And on the next one, bring the leg back to the front. Now switch the hands. Put the strap into the left hand and pull your right leg towards the left, across the center line. And then the other arm outstretches. One more breath. And on the next breath, pull the foot up on top of your leg. If this is too difficult for you to do, you can always cross your feet. But if you can bring the leg up and cross it, and just put your strap across your lap for the moment, this is a great time to do some massage yoga. Taking the foot and just rubbing up and down the bottom and the top of the foot, and circling at the ankle, putting the thumbs on the arch of the foot and just pushing and massaging, loosening, just making it feel good and comfortable. And if any time you feel pain in whatever you're doing, you need to stop doing it, because we practice ahimsa, which means we cause no harm. So don't feel any pain. Okay, now twisting, putting the left hand on the right knee. Take the right arm and loop it over the back of your chair. Then pull against the knee and twist and turn and look over that right shoulder. Breathe. One more breath. And release. From the back of the chair, release the knee, take the leg back down to the mat, stretch them both out, and then pat them up and down. That gets the tension out of the legs. And circle at the ankles, both directions. And then pull the legs back to the seated position. Now, before we move to the next, or the other leg, we're going to do what's called cat and cow in a seated position. We're going to bring the shoulders forward and separate the shoulder blades. In other words, you're arching your back as if you were a kitty cat. So come forward, leaning forward, dropping the chin down. Feel the stretch in the back. And then release it and come up and then pull the shoulders back, lifting the chest up into what they call the cow. And now let's do it again, a little faster. Cat, and come up for the cow. And then release, sort of give it a shake. Okay, let's go over to the left leg now. Get it out in front of you. Get the strap above the heel. You can wrap the strap around your wrists as I'm doing, or you can just hold it in your hands. It's up to you. But bring that leg up. You can always adjust in order to be more comfortable. And pull those toes back, push out that heel. And if you enjoyed lifting the leg and feeling extra, just raise it up. Releasing it, bring the leg slightly back down, take the strap into your left hand, and when you have it ready, windmill it over to the side and the other arm outstretched. One more breath. And on the next breath, bring the leg back to the front, switch hands, take it into the right hand, and pull the left leg over and the other arm outstretched. One more breath. And on the next one, release it, pulling this leg up on top of the other. Again, give that foot a bit of massage. You can just do the toes, concentrate on them. You can even use the nails of your fingers to go up and down the foot. Use your thumbs and circle the ankle somewhat. And reverse. All right, leaving the leg in place, take the right hand on the left knee, reach back with the left arm and twist and look over the left shoulder. One more breath. And on the next breath, release the back of the chair, release the knee, and take the leg down. And once again, stretch them out, trying to get the feet as flat on the mat as possible. And then circle those ankles in unison, both directions. Pulling the legs back to the seated position, you can set your strap down for the moment and do another cat and cow. So here we go, forward, and then come up and pull them back. And release, and just shake it loose. Okay, we're going to do what is called downward facing dog in the chair. So you need to take one leg out and the other leg in the other direction. So stretch them out as far as you can get them. Your hands are on top of the legs. Now slide the hands down the legs as you lean forward. You're going to be looking at the mat. You can go as far as the ankle. If you want to go even lower, that's up to you. Remember, go to a comfortable position, holding it in downward facing dog while seated. One more breath. And then safely take your hands and walk up your legs until you get to the knee, and you can safely push on up and not endanger your back. Bring the legs back together. Okay, We're going to do a seated asana, and to do it, I'm going to slide all the way back in the chair so that I will have good back support. And when you're in that position, find something on the chair you can hold on to, a leg or some part of it, so that you will have support. And then bring both legs straight up in front of you and point the toes up. Push out with the heels. And breathe. One more breath. And release. Bring the legs down, release the chair, and then just sort of bounce your feet up and down, get the tension out. All right. Let's come back up to the arms. Sitting up, nice and straight. Legs are shoulder width apart. Bring your right arm out in front of you. Then the right hand to the shoulder. Taking the left hand on the elbow, push it up as far as is comfortable. And then, releasing the elbow, take that hand down and behind you and pulling the shoulder back. Some folks can actually reach their hands together. But if you can't do that, don't worry about it. Whatever you're doing is perfectly fine. One more breath. And release. Bring that arm around, bring the other one down, and work the shoulders a bit. Okay, now we're going to continue with that same arm, but it's going to be a variation. So bring that arm back out. Same arm, your right, and then bring it to the shoulder. And this time, you're going to put your hand on the elbow and you're going to pull the arm across the front of the chest. One more breath. And then take the elbow back out to the front, but don't turn loose of it. Take the hand over to the other shoulder and now pull that elbow across the chest again. And release. And work those shoulders some. Okay, let's go to the other side. So we get the other arm out. Bring that hand to the shoulder. The right hand pushes that elbow up. And then take that hand behind you, pulling the arm that's up back as far as is comfortable. One more breath. And release. Bring that arm down and bring it around. Shake it out some. Okay, again, the arm, the left arm out to the shoulder, and then we've got a hold of the elbow, pull it across the chest. You your chin can rest on your hand if you like. One more breath, and take the elbow out. Holding it midway, take the hand over to the other shoulder and then pull the elbow again across the chest. Now, if you find one side works easier than the other side, don't be surprised. That's true for all of us. One more breath. And release it, bring it back out and down, and shake it out. Okay, let's do a standing position, asana. This is called Tadasana. And so make sure your mat is nice and flat, but we're going to stand up and we're going to bring our feet closer together. Now, about an inch between the big toes, okay? Lift the arches of your feet up and you're standing on the outer edge of your feet. Pull the shoulders back, lift the head up, staring straight ahead. You can turn the palms of your hands to face the front. And this is called mountain pose. It's a great one for closing your eyes and concentrating on your breath. But if you have challenge with balance, you might want to not close your eyes. One more breath. And on the next one, bring the hands up and then take them straight up above your head into tall mountain. One more breath. And release it and bring them down. And then just walk the dog, alternating your heels. Okay, let's move to extended forward bend. To do it, your legs need to be shoulder width apart, not close together. And we're going to have the hands on top of the legs. Extend the spine up. In other words, lift the chest up as high as you can. And then slowly bend forward as the hands slide down towards the knees. Now, some of us will want to stop at the knee. And we've actually turned our back into a tabletop. But if you want to extend the bend a little more, you can bend your knees slightly as the hands continue to go down the legs and you're reaching the head down towards the feet. You can even pull a little bit. It's up to you, whatever is comfortable. One more breath. And to come out of the extended forward bend, walk up your legs until you get to your knees. And then carefully come right back up, keeping the head nice and still. All right, shake it out, walk the dog. And a little bit of bouncing up and down is fine. Now I'm going to take the chair and bring it around to the front of the mat. And we're going to do downward facing dog using the seat of the chair. I'm standing about a foot or so away from the chair. My hands are going to go down to the edge of the seat, and then I will step all the way back as far as I can. Then I'll push my hips back and drop my head down. So we will swan dive down to the seat of the chair, holding on to it, nice and careful. Step all the way back as far as you can, and then push the hips back and the head drops down between the arms. This is downward facing dog using the chair. One more breath, and then walk slowly in towards the chair and come back up. Nice and easy. Get the tension out. All right. We can easily go from downward facing dog into what's called tall or high plank, where you make your whole body look like one level plane. And to do that, we're going to go into downward facing dog like we just did, and then we're going to move into plank by dropping the hips towards the chair and bringing the shoulders over the wrists. So down we go to the seat. Step back into downward facing dog. Now bend your hips down towards the seat as the shoulders come over the wrists. The head stays in alignment with the back and the legs, and it should look as much like a plank as possible. One more breath. Back to downward facing dog. And then walk in, releasing, coming to the chair, and coming back up. Roll the shoulders. Shake out everything. Now, a variation of tall plank is low plank. And on low plank, your forearms rest on the seat of the chair. So we'll swan dive to the seat of the chair. You'll need to bend your knees to get down to it, but once you're there, get your forearms on the seat. Then step all the way back, drop the hips slightly, pull the shoulders over the elbows, and you are in low plank. Tendency here is to hold your breath, but don't do that because you're engaging your abdominals. You need to keep breathing. And if you want to go into cobra in this position, just drop your hips down a little lower and raise your head so that you can look at the back of the chair or over it, and you have become cobra. One more breath, and push against the chair with your forearms and step forward with your feet towards the chair so you can bend your knee and safely come back up. All right, move it out, shake it up and down. All right, now turning the chair around so that the back of the chair will be facing you. We're going to move into some classic yoga positions called warriors. And to do those, we're facing the back of the chair, a couple of feet from it maybe. And you can always have both hands or one hand on the back of the chair at all times. You do not have to turn loose of the chair, it's up to you. But with the chair in position, take one foot, let's say your right foot, towards the back of the chair or the foot of the chair. The other leg, take it back. Now, you want the back leg not to be immediately behind the front leg, but rather turned at an angle so that there is also space between the two legs. Now bend your front knee towards the back of the chair as you bring the shoulders up. Now, as I said, you can turn loose of one or both hands into warrior one. This is one position with one hand, and this is with the other in warrior one. Warrior two, the right hand comes down over the right leg and the left hand goes back behind you. Now try to keep the legs in alignment with the arm. Also, if you're not sure about that back arm, just look at it and see where it is. Make sure it's not too high or too low. And you're in warrior two. From this position, we'll move into exaltation. So turn your right palm up and then carry it above the head as the other arm drops down. Back to warrior two. From Warrior 2, we're going to move into side angle. You can bring your hand down to the back of the chair, or you can rest the forearm on the leg as the other arm swings over the head, and you can look under that arm. One more breath, and then back to Warrior 2, Warrior 1, and release. Bring the hands down, pull that leg back in, and walk it up and down, shake it out. All right, let's grab that chair again, and we're standing behind it. We're going to go to the other side. So bring now your left foot towards the chair and the right leg back. And when you have that in position and you feel like you've got your balance, bend that knee towards the chair. Pull the shoulders back. Take the arms up into Warrior 1. At any time, readjust your legs if you feel like you need to. Warrior 2. Arm comes down over the leg, other arm back. Exaltation, palm up, lift the arm up. Warrior 2. Side angle, again you can hold the back of the chair or rest it on the leg as the arm swings over. Back to Warrior 2. Warrior 1. And release. Bring the arms down, bring the legs back together, and walk the dog. All right, we're going to combine a few of these positions into what is called sun salutation that is designed for the chair. So you'll need to turn the chair back around. And we will begin with sort of a cat and cow position, but we're going to go down to the seat of the chair and go into downward facing dog, move into tall plank, back to downward facing dog, and then into low plank, and then forward bend, and we come back up and end as we began. So to start off, we'll bring our hands together. Now we're going to lift them up over the head, take them out, lift the chest, bring the arms and hands back together, bring them down, bend forward towards the seat of the chair, grab the seat of the chair, step back into downward facing dog. Come forward into tall plank, back to downward facing dog. Step forward and put your forearms on the seat of the chair. Step back into low plank. Bring the shoulders over the elbows. Drop the hips into cobra. Push the hips back up. Press against the seat. Step forward towards the chair. You're in extended forward bend, and then come back up. Arms out, hands together, and back down to the heart. And that is sun salutation. Thank you for being a part of our yoga experience, and we end our time, almost every yoga class will end with a salutation, which is in another language that we have no translation for into English. So we use the Sanskrit word, which is namaste, and it means that the divine in each of us honors the divine in all of us. So let us say it together. Namaste.
This Add Health to Our Years presentation is brought to you by Greensboro Television Network and the Parks and Recreation Department. The Parks and Recreation Department offers a variety of AHOY classes throughout the city. These classes are designed for older adults and are free to those 55 and older. For more information about this exercise program or additional senior activities, please call the Smith Senior Center at 336-373-7564. Watch GTN for more exercise programs to add health to our years.